Hello everybody and welcome to the MGTOW Academy YouTube channel. Thanks for stopping by. And for those of you who are subscribed or been to my channel before, thank you and welcome back. I haven't uploaded a video in a while because in the city where I used to live, the neighbor next door drowned in a lake. So I want to keep his family company and comfort them through such a hard time like this. You know, he was a nice man, and this reminds you, life is short. So spend your time in life wisely. Anyways, I came home a few days ago, but I had something else on my mind for a new podcast. That's why I waited a bit longer to make one. And in case you can't tell by the title, in this podcast, I'm going to be discussing Michelle Carter and what she did. The actual name for the court case is Commonwealth v. Michelle Carter. And also, for those of you who don't know what Michelle Carter did, she convinced her boyfriend to commit suicide. Conrad Henry Roy III committed suicide after Michelle Carter prompted him to do so through texts and phone calls over a span of multiple months. I'm going to go over reasons why it is Michelle's fault. I still do believe it is her fault, although some people say she is innocent because at first, when Conrad texted Michelle about suicide, she told him not to do it. But I'm going to go over why it's still her fault regardless. Oh yeah, one more thing. If you're wondering how this is related to MGTOW, this, gentleman, is a prime example of a woman manipulating a man for her own benefit. Now, in this case, she just wanted attention and sympathy. It also demonstrates how she gets a pussy pass, something that the American justice system will give to women. And also, if you're wondering, sources for my information are in the description below. Be sure to listen to the entire podcast. So, without further ado, let's get right to it. Okay, let's start from the beginning. Conrad had met Michelle in 2012 while on family vacation in Florida. Both lived in Massachusetts. Conrad's parents divorced in October of 2012, and court evidence has suggested that Conrad has gone through abuse both verbally and physically. And he even referred to himself as no good trash and as an abortion. In the summer of 2014, Conrad began to send Michelle these text messages that shared thoughts on him committing suicide. Now remember, at first she condemned the idea, but later she began to send him messages that would say things like his family would get over it. At the same time, Michelle Carter had issues with severe anxiety and body image, but court experts say that she was in a better state compared to Conrad. Michelle would listen to Conrad as he shared his issues. By July of 2014, Michelle had switched her anxiety medication from Prozac to Celexa, and according to a court psychiatrist, the medication change had also shifted her communications with Conrad. 2 weeks prior to Conrad's suicide, Michelle sent lengthy texts encouraging him to kill himself. She even suggested different methods like hanging himself, jumping off of a building, and stabbing himself. On July 10th, Michelle suggested using a car gas generator to commit suicide. And that would, lead to carbon monoxide poisoning, and that obviously leads to death. And while also talking to Conrad, Michelle messaged her friend that Conrad went missing while she was still talking to him. So Michelle was talking to her friends while at the same time talking to Conrad, yet she messaged her friends that he went missing. Interesting. And on July 12th, 2012, Michelle finally got what she wanted. Conrad Henry Roy III took his own life through carbon monoxide poisoning. He used a gas-powered water pump in his truck, which was parked in a parking lot. And when he felt the effects of the carbon monoxide poisoning working, he exited the truck. But Michelle Carter told him to get back in. This was the last of the many opportunities Michelle had to save Conrad's life. And out of all the people Conrad knew, Michelle had the most opportunities to stop him from committing suicide. Now, remember, she condemned suicide at first, but now she is forcing him? Conrad wanted help, and he turned to the wrong person. She made it seem like suicide was the only option. Believe me, suicide is not the answer. It never is. She only supported him committing suicide for her own personal benefit. She wanted to play the role of the grieving girlfriend and wanted the attention and sympathy of other people. She is an attention whore. She held an event at her school for suicide awareness in his name and made it about herself. She gained lots of attention because of that, and that's all that she wants. She has no emotions whatsoever. And you know what's even more horrible? The sentencing. She only gets 2.5 years. No. 2.5 years. Get that through your head. 2.5 years. You know, I heard about this case before I was even in MGTOW. And I was like, so the maximum that she would receive would be 20 years. All right? And I was like, nah, she ain't getting 20 years. My guess would be maybe 5 to 10 years. That was my guess. I bet money that she would get 5 to 10 years for what she did. But when I read online that she got 2.5 years, my jaw dropped to the floor when I read that. You know what's even worse than that? As if this can't get any worse, she gets 15 months behind bars. Say it with me now, guys. You're hearing me correctly. 15 months. 15 months behind bars. And the rest is suspended. The rest of that is suspended. And 5 years on probation. That will not, I promise you, that will not do a single thing. It will not. She received nothing more than a slap on the wrist. She pressured him into committing suicide. Read the text yourself. By the way, the link to those are in the description below. And, anyways, I'm not sure what's worse. Michelle's evil desire for attention and sympathy, or her sentence. Her sentence is a joke. It is. But Lynn Roy, Conrad's mom, is suing for $4.2 million, just so you guys know. And I hope they receive the $4.2 million. But do keep in mind, no matter how much money is given to the Roy family, nothing will bring back Conrad. Now, with that out of the way, men, realize that stuff like this is common. It's common. It happens way more than you think. It's just that this specific case is picking up more attention on media. Cases like this happen all the time, and women receive nothing more than a slap on the wrist. On the wrist. Men, this is your wake-up call. The facts have been provided to you. The evidence is being served to you on a silver platter. You can't just ignore this. It's like your alarm clock going off multiple times in the morning. You can't ignore this forever. Open your eyes and look around. This is our reality, and women get away with this. It's disgusting. It makes me feel nauseous to know that this is what Michelle gets for pressuring Conrad into committing suicide. It's sickening. Guys, this podcast is ending soon. I hope that this case has opened up the eyes of many men, and I hope that everyone here has realized that this woman has manipulated a man for her own personal benefit, yet she gets away with this with nothing else but a slap on the wrist. Like any other podcast I make, this will be available for free download at soundcloud.com with the link in the description below. Also, be sure to follow me on MGTOW.com. My profile is in the description below. Leave any feedback, whether it's good or bad, in the comment section below. Be sure to do yourself a favor and stay active in the MGTOW community. I also want to hear everyone's thoughts on this situation in the comments below as well. Be sure to share this video on other social platforms. And if you're new to my channel and you like what you see, then be sure to subscribe, as well as exploring other MGTOW channels as well. I care for you all so much. It's a dangerous and unfair world out there. Michelle Carter has certainly proved that. So I hope you all have a safe and wonderful day.